Seminal retention is a practice rooted in ancient traditions, inspired by Eastern philosophies, yoga, and spirituality. It goes far beyond simple physical abstinence. It involves redirecting vital energy that is often dissipated. In many spiritual systems, this energy is considered sacred and possesses the potential to raise consciousness and catalyze personal growth. However, to fully benefit from semen retention, simply abstaining from ejaculation is not enough. The key lies in the practitioner's awareness. This is the cornerstone of any spiritual or transformative practice. In the context of semen retention, it becomes the vehicle through which we elevate our experiences and transcend physicality. When a person begins a process of seminal retention, the first step is to become aware of the immense power and energy residing within them. This awareness requires much more than mere intellectual understanding. It necessitates the activation of a deeper consciousness, attuned to sensation, thoughts, and the subtle energetic movements of the body. Without awareness, the practice of withholding semen risks becoming mechanical. Many manage to avoid ejaculation, but if they ignore the immense energetic upheaval this act generates, they fail to fully exploit their potential. Awareness allows access to the depths of one's psyche, to explore the root causes of one's desires, and to master the impulses that arise. This shift in perspective from a basic physical level to a higher spiritual level is the very essence of seminal retention. As soon as a person becomes aware of their energy, they access a new dimension of experience. This awareness connects them to their higher self, and their ability to retain semen transcends mere willpower. It transforms into an intentional act of aligning the body, mind, and soul with the higher flow of the universe. The process of seminal retention is, in many ways, a journey towards deeper consciousness. And this journey can only unfold if the individual cultivates true awareness. The role of mindfulness in seminal retention. Mindfulness, a practice often associated with Buddhism, plays a crucial role in awareness during seminal retention. It involves being fully present and aware of one's thoughts, feelings, and bodily sensations, without judgment. In the context of seminal retention, mindfulness is essential for understanding the subtle impulses that arise and choosing to respond to them consciously, rather than impulsively. When sexual energy arises, some people react unconsciously, giving in to temptation or desires without understanding their underlying cause. This is where mindfulness becomes transformative. By cultivating mindfulness, those who practice semen retention learn to observe their impulses rather than yielding to them. In doing so, they can begin to discern between biological drives and deeper spiritual aspirations. The distinction between these two aspects is essential for understanding the profound role that semen retention plays in spiritual growth. Mindfulness also helps cultivate patience. The practice of semen retention can generate intense emotions, such as frustration, desire, or even anger, because the body learns to redirect its energy instead of releasing it. Mindfulness offers a space to welcome these emotions, allowing them to emerge without judgment or reaction. This fosters inner growth and self-mastery, instead of suppressing them. Mindfulness allows the practitioner to explore them, thus paving the way for healing over time. As the practitioner continues their mindfulness practice, they begin to perceive subtle shifts in their overall awareness. They become more attuned to the vibrations of their own thoughts, the energy of their body, and even the energy of the people and environment around them. This heightened awareness deepens the spiritual experience and opens new avenues for personal transformation. Mindfulness is not only a tool for controlling one's impulses, but also a way to establish a deeper connection with retained energy. It is particularly important for inner focus and energy transmutation. Seminal retention is, in essence, a practice of energy transmutation. It consists of consciously channeling sexual energy, which would otherwise be released toward higher goals. Whether it involves artistic expression, creativity, mental clarity, or spiritual development, the process of transmutation requires deep inner focus, another aspect of consciousness. Without this focus, the energy accumulated through semen retention risks being wasted or dispersed. The practitioner must maintain complete attention on their goal, be it spiritual awakening, personal growth, or the fulfillment of their desires. This approach goes beyond simple concentration. It involves learning to direct energy from the sexual centers, the root chakra, up the body to the higher chakras, including the third eye and crown chakras. Energy transmutation involves cultivating awareness not only of the energy itself, but also of the thoughts and beliefs that accompany it. Often, when energy is not transmuted, it manifests as insatiable desires or intense physical urges. Conversely, when the practitioner focuses on transmuting this energy through conscious intention, it flows more harmoniously, activating the body's higher faculties. This can lead to advancements in creativity, mental clarity, and even spiritual experiences. This introspection also allows the individual to reconnect with their deepest life purpose. When a person manages to channel the energy of seminal retention into coherent actions, whether through creativity, innovation, or self-discipline, they begin to live a life more in harmony with their higher self. This form of awareness is not limited to control. It aims to unleash an untapped potential capable of enriching life, overcoming obstacles. The role of awareness in maintaining seminal retention. Seminal retention is a demanding practice, especially in a society that glorifies instant gratification and sexual expression. Many professionals struggle with the urge to ejaculate or the frustration associated with withholding energy. It is precisely in these moments that mindfulness becomes the most powerful tool for maintaining retention. One of the greatest challenges to seminal retention lies in the subconscious, which harbors deeply ingrained desires, drives, and patterns. These impulses can arise unexpectedly, giving the person the feeling of losing control. Mindfulness provides the clarity and presence needed to recognize them as soon as they appear, rather than reacting impulsively. By observing the impulse without judgment, one can let it pass without being swept away. Furthermore, mindfulness helps the practitioner identify and deconstruct the emotional and psychological triggers underlying the compelling need to be free from these desires. These triggers may be related to stress, emotional numbness, or even unresolved past traumas. Through this mindfulness, the practitioner can engage in emotional processes or spiritual practices that address the root causes of these needs, instead of suppressing or denying the impulse. Awareness offers the possibility of understanding and integrating it, which strengthens the practice of retention. As the practitioner deepens their retention process, they encounter more subtle and complex challenges, such as external distractions, energy fluctuations, or moments of insecurity. Mindfulness allows each person to remain steadfast and aligned, regardless of external circumstances. It helps them understand that hardship is an integral part of the spiritual path and teaches them patience, discipline, and self-control. By consciously overcoming these difficulties, the practitioner strengthens not only their spiritual practice, but also their spiritual resilience. Spiritual awakening: how consciousness elevates semen withdrawal to a higher level of awareness. Conscious semen retention can lead to profound spiritual awakening. This practice is not simply a physical act. It is an inner journey that allows access to the depths of consciousness. As the practitioner develops their awareness, they access higher dimensions of spiritual consciousness, including the recognition of the interconnectedness of all things. Mindfulness allows them to dissolve the barriers between their personal desires and their higher spiritual nature. This dissolution leads to deeper experiences of unity and union with the universe. By consciously retaining the energy held back, the practitioner opens pathways to spiritual awakening and divine connection. These experiences are often marked by a sense of peace, clarity, and understanding, as well as an increased ability to manifest desires with ease. Furthermore, the awareness and retention of semen allow the practitioner to connect with their inner divine essence. The transmutation of sexual energy activates a latent spiritual potential. This can manifest as heightened intuition, the ability to perceive energy, or the awakening of dormant psychic faculties. The more the practitioner refines their consciousness, the more they release these deeper layers of awareness, transcending the limitations of the physical body and accessing the spiritual realm. The final step in this process is understanding that semen retention is not merely a personal practice, but a universal one. It connects the individual to the divine flow of energy that sustains their universe itself. The awareness that arises from this practice opens a space of transcendence and awakening, where the practitioner no longer feels separate from the universe, but an integral part of its immense creative energy. The impact of energy conservation on the physical body. The practice of semen retention transcends the spiritual and mental dimensions. It also has profound effects on the physical body. The role of consciousness in this transformation is fundamental. When a man conserves his sexual energy, his body begins to experience increased vitality and endurance. However, these benefits are only fully felt when the practitioner is aware of how this energy is redirected. This awareness allows them to understand bodily rhythms and patterns. During periods of seminal retention, many people experience an increase in energy, improved mental clarity, and enhanced overall physical well-being. However, these effects are often subtle at first and require careful attention to be noticed. Without this attention, the positive changes occurring in the body may go unnoticed, as they are not always immediately visible. People who are aware of these changes become more attentive to their physical condition, thus taking care of their bodies and maximizing the benefits of water retention. For example, the energy normally released during ejaculation is now stored and redirected within the body. This requires a balanced approach to physical health, as the excess energy must be channeled appropriately. Without a keen awareness of this process, the practitioner may experience nervousness, restlessness, or fatigue, unsure how to manage this increased energy. But when this awareness is present, a person can choose to channel this energy into healthy physical activities like exercise, yoga, or even creative work, rather than letting it be expressed through emotional outbursts or anxiety. The physical benefits are even more pronounced when the person is not only aware of the energy they are conserving, but also of how they are nourishing and caring for their body. Mindfulness guides dietary choices, sleep, and physical activity, helping individuals adapt their lifestyle to their energy retention goals. By paying attention to their body's signals and responding to its needs, they optimize their sperm retention capacity and achieve a balance between energy conservation and physical vitality. Increased awareness and intuition. One of the lesser-known, yet profoundly powerful effects of semen retention is the deepening of intuition, as energy is conserved and redirected. The individual's connection to their inner wisdom deepens. This heightened intuition is a direct byproduct of awareness. The more a person is able to focus on themselves and listen to their thoughts, emotions, and bodily sensations, the sharper their intuition will be. Intuition is often described as a premonition, or subtle knowledge that bypasses logical thinking. In the context of semen retention, it is not a random phenomenon. It is a capacity that is cultivated and developed through mindful practice. By slowing down and learning to listen to the messages of their body, whether through sensations of energy flowing through the chakras or through subconscious intuitions, the practitioner strengthens their intuitive abilities. This can manifest as increased discernment, a greater capacity to make informed decisions, and a more refined perception of the world around them. Furthermore, seminal retention, by dispelling mental confusion and bringing greater clarity of mind, creates an environment conducive to the flourishing of intuition. Many testify that during prolonged periods of seminal retention, they feel more in tune with their higher self, gaining a clearer understanding of their purpose, their relationships, and even the mysteries of the universe. The intuition that arises from consciousness guides each person's path towards self-realization and spiritual awakening. However, this heightened intuition is not always immediate. It develops gradually as the practitioner learns to cultivate a deeper awareness. Through practices such as meditation, breathwork, and other mindfulness activities, it is possible to increase one's sensitivity to the subtle energies that surround us. Over time, the practitioner's connection to their intuition becomes a valuable tool for facing life's challenges, creating opportunities for growth, and making decisions aligned with their spiritual path. The role of emotional mastery in awareness and retention. Emotional mastery is a fundamental aspect of awareness in the seminal retention process. When energy is held in the body, old emotions, traumas, and unconscious patterns can resurface. This is where emotional mastery becomes a crucial element of the practice. Without awareness, releasing repressed emotions could lead to frustration, aggression, or unhealthy defense mechanisms, thus compromising the entire retention process. Mindfulness allows the practitioner to observe their emotional landscape without judgment. Instead of reacting impulsively to their emotions or repressing them, they learn to understand them, explore their origins, and channel this energy constructively. This is fundamental for transforming sexual energy into spiritual growth and personal development. When energy is consciously withheld, emotional distress may initially intensify, but through mindfulness, these emotions can be processed, soothed, and released. For example, feelings of loneliness, longing, or frustration may arise during periods of seminal retention. Without mindfulness practice, these feelings can easily lead to negative thought patterns or self-destructive behaviors. However, when the practitioner becomes aware of these emotions as soon as they arise, they can create a space of neutrality, allowing them to express themselves freely without being overwhelmed. This awareness gives them the ability to detach themselves from their emotional reactions, which fosters greater resilience and emotional stability. Mastering emotions through mindfulness allows us to understand that our emotions are not the enemy, but rather messengers offering valuable insights into our psyche. By learning to work with these emotions instead of reacting against them, individuals develop deeper emotional intelligence, directly contributing to their spiritual growth and personal fulfillment. Thus, seminal retention becomes not only a practice of energy conservation, but also a profound emotional and psychological purification that helps the practitioner free themselves from past conditioning. The enduring power of consciousness in seminal retention. Seminal retention is much more than a simple physical discipline. This is a powerful, transformative practice that is essentially based on the development of consciousness. The energy retained and transmuted through retention holds immense potential for personal and spiritual growth. However, to fully access this power, it is necessary to deepen the practice, transcend the surface, and venture into the realms of mindful presence, concentration, and transmutation. By developing awareness, the practitioner transforms their practice of breath retention from a simple physical act into a profound spiritual journey. This awareness brings the necessary clarity to overcome the inevitable difficulties of the practice and to transform this experience from a struggle into a path toward higher consciousness. By deepening this awareness, one moves closer to self-mastery and spiritual awakening. The process of consciously retaining and transmuting sexual energy is not only about preventing its release, but also about channeling this powerful force for spiritual elevation, creativity, and personal transformation. As their consciousness awakens, practitioners perceive the interconnectedness of all aspects of their lives. They no longer view semen retention as a purely personal practice, but as a means of harmonizing with the universal flow of energy. This shift in perspective allows them to forge a deeper connection with the world around them and even with the divine source of all existence. The more they develop their consciousness, the more attuned they become to the subtle energies flowing through them, and the more they embody the higher consciousness they have cultivated. Ultimately, it is consciousness that transforms the retention of semen from a simple practice into a true spiritual way of life. It transforms what could be a tedious effort into an enriching and transformative experience. Through mindfulness, the practitioner accesses an inexhaustible source of energy, creativity, and spiritual understanding, capable of nourishing not only their own development, but also that of the world around them. This practice is neither about avoidance nor repression, but about welcoming and channeling sexual and creative energy toward a higher, divine dimension. By focusing their practice on heightened awareness, practitioners can ensure that the benefits of seminal retention extend far beyond the immediate practice. They can unlock your full spiritual potential, help you discover a deeper identity, and grant you access to a life rich in meaning, power, and connection to the divine. Thus, seminal retention becomes not only a practice of self-control, but also a profound path towards self-realization, spiritual awakening, and mastery of one's own energy.